Please tell us.
Okay, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I just feel like...
That was so aggressive.
Really?
Severely.
I just feel like I'm going through it, and I need to know if the people are feeling the same way. I just feel like Aries season is so chaotic, and there's a chaotic energy in the air, and I have like a half cold, and that like won't turn into a full cold, which is really annoying because like I feel like once you get the cold, you can get over it. But I just have like this weird half cold, and it's been going on for like 2 weeks.
You need to be taking Zycam.
Yeah.
I live and breathe by Zycam, guys. If you end emergency, like if I go out one night and I'm like hungover the next day, emergency. Take it like twice for the day, you're good as new.
Okay.
If I'm starting to feel sick, Zycam for 2 days. Good as new. Don't get sick. Like I don't get sick often because of those two things.
Maybe I need to do that then, because I've had this half cold for literally 2 weeks, and it's just like ridiculous.
Zycam could sponsor me. Every time someone's like, "Oh, I'm getting sick," I'm like, "Zycam, go buy Zycam," and it just works. I don't know what it is. It just works.
Okay, I'll keep you guys posted, but
it's a rough time. There's like a stomach bug going around all over the place.
Don't tell me that. I'll catch that too.
I know some people that have been sick for like 2 weeks. Like,
okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Shit's going down.
Yeah, my quote this week comes from High School Musical, and Troy says, "How's your show going, Sharpay?" And she goes, "How's it going? This show makes the captain of the Titanic look like he won the lottery." And that's how my week went.
Not good.
Not well, bitch.
Wow.
Oh, that's my other quote. Not well, bitch, from The Real Housewives.
Wow. So you're not taking Aries season.
No,
wow.
It was just a turbulent week at work too. Like so many things.
I heard you talking about it.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I would have punched that woman in the face.
Right? Like I simply...
Like she would have got cussed out.
I simply have no time. No energy.
Words. Oh my god. So disrespectful. So unprofessional.
Yes.
Wow. Anyways, so my quote comes from Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. And she says, "We are sophisticated, educated, successful career women. And I start school next week and I'm applying to new jobs."
Snap, snaps.
So, we on the elevation tip, we just going places right now. We're trying to get this bag. And I'm just like in career mode. I'm in work mode right now. It's going to be a couple months of like a grind and a hustle.
Love that.
But I'm excited for it. And like, I was talking to a friend today and I was like, I cannot wait to have a fully remote job. Like, I do not want to leave my house. Like, leaving to go to work, like, I don't have normal hours, work hours, but if I had to be in an office at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m., I would literally kill myself.
Going to work is
like
such
in an
bullshit.
Office.
No, like going to work is really hard. The commute in the morning, the commute in the evening. It's just like, why are you doing this? And I understand, like, oh, like come into the office 1 or 2 days just to like say that you did it, but every day, no.
In perpetuity, like it's really. It's not for me anymore.
It's not for me. Have you heard about the metaverse and how supposedly everybody's gonna work in the metaverse in the future?
Sure. I mean,
like the metaverse real estate, and there's gonna be like metaverse offices.
Did you watch Schultz's episode with Gary Vee?
No.
Okay. Flagrant 2 podcast. They had Gary Vee on this week, and so I was watching that because I love Gary Vee. And he was talking about the metaverse and NFTs and all these different things. And he was like, long term, we'll all kind of exist in the metaverse, but it's not going to be what we conceptualize it as right now. And he's like, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for like real estate. And basically like certain brands will sign with certain platforms or certain universes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you want to wear Nike in that universe, or live in a Lennar home or something, or live in like a one hotel home, you'll have to buy into that universe versus another.
It's literally like, it reminds me of Club Penguin. You might be, you might not relate to this, but in Club Penguin, if you wanted your igloo to be nicer, you had to pay.
Yeah.
And like, it was a status symbol if you had a nice igloo. And I remember one summer, Anthony, our brother, and I and our other siblings like took my mom's credit card and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay for Club Penguin, it's only $9. And we all got like the premium Club Penguin membership, and we all had like these Club Penguin mansions. And that's how I see real estate in the metaverse. Like, you're paying for virtual shit and to live like a nicer virtual life, when it's like all the Club Penguin people were judging you if you didn't have that nice shit. So later on it's gonna be like, oh, you don't have like a metaverse house, what are you doing?
Right. But I just wonder, I don't know how that really translates to anything like viable, because so much of like what exists on the internet like only exists to people that see it on the internet. Like Charlie D'Amelio. Mommy doesn't know who they are.
No.
They're the biggest TikTok stars ever. They are now partnered with all these different brands. You could literally say that they're everywhere, but most people on this planet don't know who they are. They don't know their faces, even if they have 120 million followers on TikTok. It's like, that's not really a tangible thing. And I feel like there's like a weird disconnect between like people that don't fully understand all this shit and the people that say they do, and they think like, oh, but it's gonna mean something to these other people. But the people that are living in the real world, just going about their day, I just don't know if it holds as much weight as they say it does. Because at the end of the day, like, I could say my avatar has something, but if I don't personally have something and I'm living in a box, what does that mean?
So that is a result of our fractured media landscape, because look at it like this. Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
No, but I've heard that name.
He is the biggest YouTuber that there ever has been. He has like hundreds of millions of subscribers on YouTube.
What does he do?
He just does like he does pranks, he does challenges, like he's one of those YouTubers. And he recently like became more mainstream because he recreated Squid Game. He bought an island, spent millions of dollars to recreate Squid Games, and recorded it and put it on YouTube, and it got more views than the actual Squid Game. So like, Squid Game is Netflix's most viewed show. Yeah. And Mr. Beast on YouTube got more views than the biggest show there ever was got. And you don't even know who he is. Right. Exactly. So that is the fractured media landscape. But we're moving into a place where the people who know are gonna know, and the people who don't, they're just not gonna get it. But that's where we're headed, and on each platform, in each little metaverse, there's gonna be a society, and there's gonna be standards that you wanna subscribe to and uphold.
I understand that, but in so many ways, like, they say that, you know, being on the internet, like, now you could say that we meet on the internet, people fall in love on the internet, you make your money on the internet, you know, you connect to different subcultures and people and all of these things, but that doesn't translate. And it also, there's like a level of like space that is between you and all of these other people, because you're not actually interacting with them in person. It's the reason why we can interact with so many people. It's because we're not actually seeing them in person, and it doesn't take any physical like exertion out of us. But that's a huge disconnect. That it doesn't mean that you're not alone, or you're not isolated, or you're not like disjointed from the rest of society. It's very weird.
How did we start talking about the metaverse?
I don't know. Oh, because we were talking about work.
Oh yeah, remote jobs.
Yeah, so can't wait to work remote again. I'm hating in person. Also, like, I realize I always end up in jobs where they're like male dominated, and I just cannot with the men. Like, I want to work with all women. Like, I just can't with the men. Like, the borderline harassment to full on harassment and just to complete idiocracy. Like, I'm just over it. Like, I'm just like, ugh. And I work in tech, so that's like inevitable and like I can't escape it, but I'm just like, I'm over the men.
Yeah, I love working with all women.
I want a job with a lot of women. I need to like work for a beauty company or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into the show.
Let's get into it. So we started off with some futuristic talk, but we're gonna take it back.
Yes.
We're gonna take it back to the Gilded Age.
Yes, the finale of the Gilded Age aired this week on Sunday, and we have watched the rest of the season. You can go back 3 episodes. I think it's episode 3 where we talked about the first 3 episodes of the season. And so let's get into the rest of the show.
Yes. It was amazing.
So good. So good.
Just everything I wanted and more from a show. It reminded me of Downton Abbey. Of course, creators of Downton Abbey.
Yes.
And I need to go back and finish that show now so I can get my full fix. But I love all of the characters, how they evolved throughout the season. Mrs. Russell, she was finally triumphant. And like, I love a good underdog ends up on top story.
Yeah.
Right?
I just thought the characters were so endearing in their own ways, layered in their own ways. The journeys that they went on, I felt were complete.
Yeah.
They had resolution. I like that it was a complete story. There are things that will obviously lead into the second season, but I feel like it was wrapped up. It was like a perfect little storybook this first season, which I absolutely loved. My favorite thing, though, is the characters that I didn't like were served hot justice immediately. The show is not torturing me with my disdain for certain characters. Like, I like that we saw, like, in one full circle that when you do bad, bad comes to you. And you can't play that off for long. And you're not gonna fuck around with people's lives for too long before justice is served. I love that. We saw that with the Russells' lady maid. She was fired
out of her ass. Yeah.
She showed up in that man's bed in episode 5. She showed up in George Russell's bed naked, offering herself to him. And
saying that she would love him. Like, bitch, get out of here.
Like, you don't love him. You just want him for what he can provide for you, which is money, status. And I'm not going to fault you for that, but that's that man. Like, he has a wife, and you're working for that wife.
A good,
in their home,
wife.
In their home. You're trifling bitch ass. When she was fired, I was like,
well deserved.
So on point, and even though, like, Miss Russell, she didn't fully understand the reasoning why she needed to fire her, because when Marion came to her, the reasoning was shaky. Yeah. And even on their end, the Van Ryn's end, they had the story confused. But she did need to go, and I love that we got rid of her.
Yeah. I feel like that was just a gut feeling that Miss Russell had.
Yes.
And that is why you need to listen to your gut.
Completely. And it also shows that when people are disingenuous, like, it shows through. That it doesn't have to be, they don't have to slap you in the face for you to be hurt by them. And I just like that she was so clearly, like, not it. And she was just like, no, we're done here. Yeah. I just love that.
And then the other lady's maid, the Van Ryn lady's maid, when she tried to tell lies on
the girl,
on her good character, Peggy, she got what she deserved too.
Yep.
Like, stay out of people's business. Keep your damn mouth shut. And I feel like the Van Ryns are the type of people to never fire their staff.
Yeah.
Like, they're never gonna fire the butler. They're never gonna fire the lady's maid. But, like, they put them in their place.
And it was a real, I think for that, it was a lesson in prejudice, in minding your business, and in sometimes the punishment is having to face the people that know, like, who you are.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's kind of the lesson that's being in that household. They might not be firing their staff that do them wrong, but the fact that they have to sit there in that kind of, like, endless cycle of, like, guilt and shame.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big life lesson. It's incredibly humbling to have to be like, fuck, like, this person knows, like, the dirty, like, they've seen past.
They know that I'm shiesty.
Yeah, and that is, people don't like to sit in that. Like, once people know what's underneath the hood, like, people retreat. And they're not allowing them to do that, and they kind of have to face that, and I think there'll be some lessons and growth in the second season for those two characters within that. Hopefully. But I felt bad for
the butler.
The butler, what's his name? Bannister.
I love Bannister.
I do too, and I like that he went over to the Russells and he helped out. And I think now that in the end they're all kind of fine and the lines are not so harsh, that there's gonna be some way for him to come back into the fold. But I like that he was willing to give a helping hand, that she respected his authority on the matter of, like, serving the English way, and I like that she was bold enough to reach out for help when she needed it. As annoying as her butler was with that. I loved it. I loved Bannister. I felt so bad for him when she came in. What she said to him, she was like, heads have rolled for less. That's one of my favorite sayings. Like, when people say that, I die. Like, I was living for that scene.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was so good.
That was a really good one.
And her shock when she walked into the house.
Poor thing. I felt so bad for her.
Me too. She said something that night with the lady's maid that oh my gosh, that I just loved.
Your notes are insane.
Insane. She says to act on impulse is to make oneself a hostage to ridicule. That's such good advice.
Yes.
Like, life advice. Like, take a beat, think it through. Don't be so impulsive and quick at the mouth and just to shoot off. That's something you learn with, like, age, but it's incredibly difficult, and you always are on the receiving end of criticism when you're just quick to fly off the handle. Just to say anything, do anything. It just puts you in a position where people can constantly look at you and ridicule you. That was such a poignant line. I was like, living.
She had some really good one-liners.
Yes.
In the last episode, when they went to Mrs. Russell's ball, surprise, surprise,
I know.
Mrs. Russell won. When she was like, Ada was like, that was nice. And then she goes, if we need to, we'll quarrel with her later.
I know.
I was like, ooh, a little shade. And then also Mrs. Russell, when she was talking to Mrs. Astor was like, how do you know I won't destroy you? And she goes, we're two alike. I think you're gonna like my friendship. Mrs. Astor was like, oh!
I know. I love that too. They are very much alike. Ruthlessly ambitious, want to be the queen bee. There's a lot of respect there. When they were in Newport and
why that episode made me cringe.
When what's his name?
The
guy. Ward McAllister.
Mr. McAllister.
When he brought her to the Astor's house, because he he was feeling himself. He was like, "Oh, I can do this. It's no problem. I'm liking you.
Bag.
I'm feeling you. I want to impress you now."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh shit, we're not supposed to be here. You're definitely not supposed to be here.
Right out the back door.
Like, I am gonna have my ass handed to me if you're seen." And that was one really, I think, humbling for her.
Humbling.
And two, very embarrassing.
So embarazado. Que embarazado. Adriana, I would die. I would crawl into a hole after that. But one thing I will say about Mrs. Russell, like, throughout the whole season, we just saw her go through it. Like, thrown out the back of the house to not get caught. Showing up to people's houses to pay calls and they refuse her.
Right.
Literally not being accepted at all.
Yeah.
But her perseverance and her resilience and her ability to pick herself back up and say, I'm still gonna win, that was amazing.
Yeah, I agree. It showed a lot of, like, self-assurance.
She a bad one right there.
Yeah.
I have to say.
She is a true testament to just having real self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
That is true confidence, self-esteem, knowledge of self-worth, like knowing that you are worthy of what you want, regardless of if anybody else thinks you are.
Wow, that is a really good lesson. I actually didn't think about it like that.
Yes. Also, okay, so I have to switch gears and talk about the Russells' relationship, because that is another layer of this that I
love them. Love their trust in each other. Love their respect for each other. And they were kind of shaky at some moments. And I thought that their relationship was going to start to fall apart. But they were so solid by the end. And they were just so alike.
I just live, die, breathe, worship at the altar of the Russells. Like, I love their relationship so much. First of all, I've never seen a more faithful man. Love to see it.
Not one time.
He doesn't look the other way. He didn't even think about it when Homegirl was naked in bed. And he, like, whipped the sheet back on her.
That was so good.
So good.
So good.
Also, she has such an unwavering faith in him and his abilities. He's facing going to prison, being sued. There's deaths on his hands. He might be liable. And she's just like, there's nothing to see there. Like, there's nothing to that. Like, I know you're going to get through this. I know we're going to get over it. And even if the worst happens, we'll come back again.
We'll come back again.
Like, she just does not even flinch at anything that is put in front of him. But also, another part of that, he's like, this is one very serious, and in some ways he finds, like, the society stuff that she finds to be important a little in comparison. In those moments, he's like, I want you to see the gravity of this situation. So he gets frustrated with her, and we see that kind of, like, play out. But in those moments, her faith in him, she's just like, don't be weak. Be strong.
Don't be weak.
She recites that to him over and over again, almost like it's a mantra, almost like she's, like, speaking an affirmation over him, like, don't be weak, be strong, fight, keep going. It's like motivation that, like, a coach would recite to their player almost.
Yeah.
And I feel like it keeps him going and keeps him motivated. And to get all, like, whatever. It's something that it reminded me of when Obama was leaving office. There was a tweet that somebody had put out, and they were like, can you imagine how many nights that Obama has gone back to the residence and Michelle has had to, like, rebuild his spirit and just his soul and his ability to continue when he's up against every Republican and racist white person in the country, just bashing him, tearing him down, criticizing him, stonewalling him, like he was unable to accomplish so much because of all the obstacles that were put up against him. in the government, but he was like, can you imagine the strength that Michelle has to have to support a man through that, to keep going year 1, year 2, year 3, through re-election, through year 4, year 5. And I was like, wow, that's something that I thought of when I was watching this, because I was like, she continues to like pour into him and build him up and just support him unconditionally in so many ways. And I feel like women today don't always feel or think of strong men or successful men as needing that sort of undying, unwavering, like like support and like pouring into. And I just felt like, wow, what an important lesson in the dating landscape and like the landscape of relationships and over 50% divorce rates that couple is showing us. Because women were nurturers, and we're more often the emotional foundation of a relationship and of the family. And so many young girls, we have to be strong and independent in so many ways that we feel like the men that we get with, we want them to be strong, successful, have it all together, already have made the money to be able to take care of us financially and all those things.
Because we do that for ourselves.
Because we do that for ourselves, and we don't think about what it takes men to continue that, and that constant like building up that is necessary in relationships, even when men are strong, when men are successful, when men have achieved great things. And I just think there's like a very important lesson there that I really loved seeing.
I liked it too.
Oh, it made me warm and fuzzy. I loved it. It's so much.
It was fab. Honestly, their relationship and those two characters were my favorite part of the show.
Yes.
Their whole storyline, I can't even.
Yeah. But I really also liked a lot of the side storylines. Like, I loved how Peggy's story ended and like where it went.
Oh, I love how the next season she's gonna go find her baby.
I mean, when we hear about Peggy's story in totality, you're just like heartbroken for her. She was married, she was in love, she had a son, and then that was all ripped from her in childbirth. She almost died in childbirth.
And it was all, well, not all because of her dad, but like that loss that she was feeling in her life, the loss of her child, like the part of her that was just so empty and she couldn't get back. It was all because of her damn dad, because he thought that her life wouldn't be the best with a child, and he didn't want her to be an unwed mother.
But she wasn't unwed, she was married. He made the husband leave her, essentially. I just thought that was so cruel, so disappointing.
Ruined her life.
Yeah, and there's a line in there that the father says to the mother where he's like, we are her parents, like we have to raise her. Like we have to make sure that she's okay. But you raise kids so they can be independent.
And live their own lives.
Yeah, and, self-sustaining adults without you. And you might not always be in love with their choices, but you should support them unconditionally. And if they end up falling down, you should be there to pick them up, and to be supportive in those hard times. But, you've got to allow your kids to be who they want to be. At the end of the day, they are not you. They're not even just extensions of you. They are whole, complete people. They're a separate entity outside of you completely, and you should not have these like strong ties attached to the lives and the outcomes in their lives,
especially when they're grown.
Right.
Grown as hell.
Like our mom always says, you're not raising an inconvenience, you're raising a human being. And she always says to people that are like new mothers or just other mothers, she's like, you have to allow them to be their own person, because they are. Like the simple fact that they are not a tethered soul to you means that they're going to do their own thing, think their own way, believe their own way, and you have to allow that and have put in the work early on that lays the foundation for them to be a good human on their own.
Yeah.
I love that her mom came around.
Me too.
And
that
supporting
was really
her
nice
and
at
stood
the
up to
end.
the father. Love that. And then I love what's happened to her professionally. She's writing.
She's doing amazing things.
She's publishing articles. They're being well received. She's doing it. I love that person.
She's killing it. I loved her storyline as well, and I'm excited to see where her story goes in season 2. Is she gonna reconnect with her ex-husband? I kind of saw sparks between her and the publisher, the editor. Yeah.
I thought he was so good looking and tall and manly and like very just nice. I would kind of like to see that, because I don't know. It's one thing to say like her father had a hand in intervening with the ex-husband, but he left. Like, at the end of the day, I don't know if that can be forgiven.
True.
You know?
Yeah. Sometimes just too many things happen and a relationship is soured. So maybe they're gonna leave the husband in the past. But I want to talk about Marion.
Okay.
And Mr. Rakes.
Okay. I was wrong.
I told you. I said it, guys. Go back and listen to the first episode where we talked about this.
I was wrong.
Because I was always suspicious of Mr. Rakes. I was like, something about him, like the way that they're writing this character, I just feel like this isn't Marion's guy. And then you were like, no, I think he's so genuine. I think he loves her. And like, sure, I think he loves her. But at the end of the day, he's a social climber.
Yeah. I was wrong, and I can admit it, and I was very disappointed in Mr. Rakes. He got to the big city, and some girls were throwing the cat at him, and he was with it, and I was not.
He was wilding, yeah, like out and about all around the city, whispering in girls' ears, finding the richest heiress he could find.
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't. And I think he initially moved to New York for Marion. He followed her there. But as soon as he got there, he broke out.
Right.
Yeah.
As so many do when they come to the big cities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is the story of every man that's ever moved to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so wholesome, so humble, so nice. And then all of a sudden, they're living in Burrico, going to the clubs every night, and then inviting girls out on boats. Listen, I was talking to some of my coworkers today. One of them was saying, like, oh, yeah, I have a friend that invites all of these girls on boats. And then the girls show up, and there's so many girls there, and they're like, wait, I thought, like, I was going to be with you on the boat. But, like, he's literally hooking up with all of them, and he has them all interact. Isn't that so sick?
That's disgusting. Yeah. I was very disappointed with him. And it was really unfortunate because I do think his intentions were good in the beginning. He just, he lost his way. And it was so disappointing for her when she was like planning the whole thing with Mrs. Chamberlain and
when she got stood up. Have you ever gotten like stood up for something?
No.
I haven't gotten like stood up, like I showed up to a place and like a guy didn't show up.
Wild.
No, that has never happened to me. But like just like the disappointment and the embarrassment of like I've had a guy make plans with me and then like cancel at the last minute like not follow up, not confirm, and it's just like that hurts and it's so embarazado.
Yeah. Second lesson in following your gut. She was warned.
She was warned multiple times.
What's her name?
Multiple people.
Aurora Fane.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to warn her. She was like, and Marion swept that under the rug, didn't even listen to her, didn't ask one single question more. I would have been like, girl, tell me what the tea is. What's up? Oh, you got something to tell me? What's up? What'd you see? What do you know?
Mm-hmm.
I do think that was her small town vibe just kicking in and just being caught up in the emotions and being young and really not being discerning enough to figure out what was going on there. But if an older woman comes to you and is like,
girl,
baby, let me tell you something about these men. was one of those moments.
Yeah.
And she did not listen. And you gotta listen when an elder comes to you with some stuff.
But Miss Chamberlain tried to tell her too.
She did.
She was like, are you sure this is going to be a really difficult path for you guys? You have to make sure you really love each other. Are you sure, like, he's the one? Because I've been kind of hearing some things about him, too. And she doubled down and was like, no, this is what I want.
And she didn't really have any sort of substantive conversations with him when they met at Mrs. Chamberlain's house that time. They were just making out in the corner and making googly eyes. Yeah, like it wasn't like, what's the plan? Where should we live? Where are we gonna move? How are we gonna support ourselves? We're gonna be outcasted from my aunt, from the rest of like it was no like, let's get a plan together here. It was just like, let's run off together, and that's not a plan.
Let's do it. No, he wasn't with it. He was smart. Honestly, he did her a favor.
For sure.
Yeah, she's got big things in store.
I agree.
Because she's lovely.
She is lovely. Beautiful girl, smart girl.
Very sweet.
I think she learned a lot of lessons. I think she learned lessons with Peggy's family on that were very important for her to learn. I think she learned a lesson here. And I hope she took the lesson of listening to the people around her. I think what her problem is that she feels like the old women in society, their reservations about people are founded in like a small-mindedness that she can't get behind.
And it's just judgmental to be judgmental because they think they're better than everyone.
Right. And really it's rooted in the fact that they've had to navigate so many sort of like social interactions and kind of like this world of Monopoly or chess. And within that, you learn a whole lot about yourself and about people and how to read people and how important that is. And she doesn't really respect all that knowledge because she's looking at, she herself kind of turns up her nose at them as being like, so I hope she gets it together in that sense for season 2.
She'll learn.
Yeah.
She'll learn. What do you think about her new love interest, potentially?
Larry Russell.
Since the beginning, I wanted them to be together. Like, that is who I ship.
I agree. I think he's so lovely.
He's so sweet. He's so cute. And when he was talking to his dad about her in the carriage, he was like, when she makes her mind up about something, she does it. Like, that one, she is a strong, very, like, good woman.
Yes, I think he sees bits of his mom in her.
I see bits of her as well in there.
And I like his kind of like storyline of trying to do something different from his father. He was like, you're a genius. I cannot follow that up. I need to go find my own lane. Like, I need to do something different and conquer that because I can't conquer your world. You've conquered your world. And I think that's a really important lesson for just like people trying to follow in people's footsteps. It's all good and well for your family to have done these things or whatever, built a business. But, sometimes it can only go one generation.
He didn't want to be the fuck up son.
Right.
I feel like in so many companies, there's always the fuck up son.
Right.
Because it was handed to them. They didn't have to struggle to build it. They don't value it the same way. They don't know it inside and out.
They haven't had to like build it up from the ground.
Yeah.
With no resources or no money. They're just having to sustain it. And possibly do better, but
and it never grows.
Never.
And I feel like you need outside people to come in and give it a fresh new take, a fresh new ideas, and allow the business to continue growing. Somebody who's hungry.
Yeah.
Not the person who is obligated to maintain it.
And everybody's gonna be looking at like, not quite his father.
Yes, nobody wants that. Or
Yeah.
I don't think you should want that.
No.
Yeah, I feel like most companies that are like, they try to pass it down to the son is always a fuck up.
Yeah.
So props to Larry for wanting to forge his own path.
Yeah, I like that. And I think Mr. Russell really started to respect that when he broke that down. He was like, okay, I see you. I see the vibes.
Yeah, it's like, you're my son. You want to do
your own thing.
Good things, big things. What did you think of Homegirl at the end? The sister with Oscar. Oscar is saying he thinks he can get her, but at the ball, she was like, nobody's gonna tell me what to do anymore. I'm out. I was like, girl.
You better tell him.
Mm-hmm.
You better tell him.
She was ready to be a woman.
She is. She's like, I'm done with this little kid shit. Fuck the bullshit. I love that moment for her. She is out now. She can join society. She can be courted. Mm-hmm. I felt really bad for her with the first boy.
Oh, yeah.
That was just unfortunate.
Yeah.
But
he wasn't good enough.
But there's plenty of fish in the sea.
She needs an heir.
Oscar is not it. And
Oscar's gonna try.
Oscar's gonna try, and I don't think he's like... This is the thing, like, what he's doing purely for himself. He's not considering her in his kind of, like, choice of choosing her. He's not realizing, like, okay, now you are condemning her to a life with a gay man that doesn't want her. And he's not fully thinking about what that could do to a person. On the other end of that relationship, he's just trying to secure himself.
But it makes me wonder, is it really that bad? Because, like, her future husband's probably gonna cheat on her anyway. So, like, how bad is it if, like, he's cheating with women or men?
Do you think a man who is not attracted to you in any way sexually is going to give you the amount of sexual satisfaction or emotional support that a man that is actually into you?
Emotional, perhaps, if they're really good friends and they like each other, but, like, sexually, obviously not.
Exactly.
But how many of those women back then were having that much sex anyway?
I mean, they're not. They, like, live in separate bedrooms and things
like
that. But
what did you think of that? I thought it was great that they all had separate bedrooms from their husbands.
Honestly, Cece can attest to this. I think that long-term relationships are built on three things: hired help in the home, separate bathrooms, and lots of sex. So
separate closets too.
Oh yeah, like when I say bathroom, I mean like bathroom, dressing room, like closet, like it needs to be separate. We can't do this together. Mm-hmm. But seeing their separate bedrooms, I was like, maybe I need a bedroom too.
I saw this thing on Twitter the other day that a married couple had two separate apartments.
Yeah, it's called like separate cohabitation or whatever. There's a name for it.
Yeah, but they were married and they saw each other a couple times a week, and then they went home to their homes.
I mean, I think that's taking it a little far.
That's too much.
And I think I like the idea of a same bedroom, but you need a king bed. Like it needs to be the biggest bed you can possibly get. Mm-hmm. You know?
And you need your separate bathroom.
And you need separate bathrooms. But I follow this one girl on Twitter, and her husband have separate bedrooms. And she's like, sometimes he comes and sleeps in my room, sometimes I go and sleep in his room, and sometimes we just do our own things. And she's like, it's lovely, it's fine. They have 2 kids. Like, they literally had their second kid during quarantine, and everyone's like, how do you even find... She's like, sometimes I go and sleep in his room and we have sex, and then other times...
Sometimes I go and sleep in his room.
And then sometimes, like, he comes to my room before bedtime, and then we'll have sex there, and then he'll go to his room, and it's lovely. And I'm like, I'm not totally bad at that.
You know what I'm thinking? You know how, like, things evolve over time and we don't really know why? Uh-huh. Maybe married couples started having the same bedroom because people started having less money.
Oh, that's definitely what it is.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what it is.
Like, people don't have enough money to have, like, 7 bedrooms in the house for, like, everyone to have their own room. Yeah. So, like, the couples share the bedroom.
Yeah.
It's giving broke.
It's giving poor. It's giving poverty. Completely.
I wonder. I'm gonna research this.
Yeah, I kind of like the separate bedroom thing. I'm not gonna lie. That idea is starting to grow on me.
That's so funny.
It's starting to grow on me. Also, one last thing I wanted to talk about. I loved this in Downton Abbey, and I think I'm even loving it more now. But the houses, like the staffs, like
the staff is amazing in both houses.
Like I love the different stories we were seeing in. The first couple episodes, we saw the Van Ryn's cook go through some gambling issues, and she's paying off her debts, and the young girl that's like her assistant in the kitchen. She, the footman is trying to like get at her, and she's like, I can't. And then like in that later episode, she's like confessing to her that she was like sexually assaulted by her father, and her mother allowed it, and she's never had any sort of kindness until she came to work and live in this house. And that like broke my heart, because we know that that's such a prevalent story then. It's still a prevalent story now. Incredibly unfortunate, but I love that she was able to, like, the cook was able to see, like, something's happening here, let me reach out to her. And she was
so
able to like just have a soft place to land with that, and that kind of opened her up, and she was able to kind of like start to look at the boy like, what's going on here? Like, I'm kind of liking you, like, now you don't like me.
I ship them too
so much.
During the last episode, when he was like, did you want to go to the ball? And she was like, would have been nice. And he was like, you never know, this is America.
Something's gonna happen there. I think so.
You think they're gonna get into it?
I think one, they're gonna get into it, and I think he's very ambitious in a way that's like,
he's so cute.
He's so cute.
He's adorable.
To me. And like hearing about his mom and his dad dying, and I was just like, oh, these people. I just love that we saw so many layers in all these different characters. Even with the chef at the Russell's house, he lied, he learned how to cook, he came back, now his ex-wife is trying to get him for his money. Like, we know that story. She's like, oh, now you come up with a bag, give it to me. Like,
we can't have a chef from Kansas.
Right. I loved all the different layers.
Everybody had a story.
Yeah, and isn't that the truth? Like, everybody does have a story, and I just thought they were interesting, and I also thought that I loved that everybody seemed like well-meaning in it all. I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to make the best of what I can make this life of. I loved it.
It was a fabulous show. We can go on and on and on, but you guys need to watch it. Sorry if this was a little all over the place, but we were just so excited to chat.
I know. As I was watching this, I took so many notes, just like every thought that I had, and overall, everything is just. Wait, can we talk about the ball? Like, how fabulous was the ball?
Okay, I wanted to say that. You cannot do a period show without a ball. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, without a ball, what are you even doing?
Right.
I want to have a ball so bad.
Between this and the courtship, like, I need to go somewhere and put on a big poofy dress. Like,
we need to have a ball.
Straight up. When the Astors arrived and the necklace and the tiara entered the room.
And the earrings.
I was dying.
Everybody's dress was fab. When the quadrille came out and they did their little dance
with their wings
and everyone was smiling, I was like, this is very good fun. I would like to have this.
I mean, the costumes, the set, just everything. Even the lunch that she had with what's his name?
Mr. McAllister.
With McAllister. That first lunch. The place setting, the gold fans that she gifted everyone, the little boxes for their cigarettes. I was like, oh my god, I would die.
Yeah, I'm having a luncheon.
No, like, who's inviting me to luncheon? Like, who is it? Like,
oh my gosh, you know our reservation for Little Hen was supposed to be for tomorrow, but of course Alina's gone.
Oh, do we still have the reservation?
I canceled it.
Oh.
That would have been a nice luncheon.
That would have been. Yeah, the set, the tablescapes, the ball, the dresses, even, Mrs. Russell's dress for the ball, the black and white, so striking.
With the long sleeve and the gloves, kill me.
I was dead. I was on the floor. The costuming the whole season was just, oh my gosh.
Fab.
So beautiful.
Yeah, we'll see you guys at luncheon and the ball. I'll be planning both.
Right.
And that's the show.
10 out of 10. All right, guys, it is now time for tea. Let's get into it.
So I have a piece of tea fresh off the presses today. Everybody on Twitter was talking about it, and it seems like Doja Cat has been canceled for the millionth time, and this time she's actually leaving the music industry. But like, who can tell with her? So supposedly, allegedly, what had happened was she had a concert in Paraguay that was canceled because of this crazy freak storm, which, for context and another piece of tea, Miley Cyrus was on her way to that same concert. It was a festival, and her plane literally got struck by lightning.
Yeah.
And she couldn't make it. But regardless, Miley was very gracious. She apologized to the fans, even though her plane literally got struck by lightning and it wasn't her fault. And saying, you know, she couldn't make it, that she was so sorry, and like sending them love and to stay safe. Apparently, Machine Gun Kelly was gonna go to the festival as well, and his show got canceled, but he was so gracious to the fans, apologized even though it wasn't his fault, and even had like a makeshift concert in front of his hotel, right? So after Doja's set got canceled in Paraguay, she was silent. She went to Brazil. And she started posting that she was in Brazil. And the fans were like, we literally waited in the storm for you before your set got canceled, and you didn't even send us a tweet asking us if we were okay. Like what the fuck, Doja? To which she said, this ain't for me. I'm so out. Y'all take care.
Okay.
And everybody's mad at her because, like, obviously the other artists were interacting with their fans, acknowledging, I'm so sorry, I hope you guys are staying safe. And Doja was just, like, out to Brazil.
I mean, that's weird that she wouldn't say anything, but...
Yeah. Like, when people initially brought it up to her, she tweeted, I'm sorry. And then... like, people were commenting, oh, it's too late to say sorry, like, you should care more about your fans, and she said, I'm not sorry. And then when people came for her, she was like, I'm quitting music.
Okay, well, I think that's, like, a little dramatic.
It is a little dramatic. She's been canceled so many times, and, like, this is the one that's gonna do it for you. But also, it's just...
couldn't her team have put out a tweet? Like, I don't know. Who runs her socials? Like... Yeah,
this seems like it shouldn't be as big of a deal as it is, but, like, it's a big deal, and everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like this is something... Nobody died.
Yeah.
As far as we know. So it's like, what's the problem?
I don't know. The Paraguayan fans are really mad, apparently, and they're a force. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Doja Cat's really big in South America, apparently.
Really?
Apparently.
That makes sense. Honestly, I've been listening to her album, and it's really good.
She made a really good pop album.
It was very good. Like, I really enjoy Planet Her.
She did what she had to do.
She really did, and she's a great performer. She's really killing it.
Her and Dula Peep.
Yeah, but
I would put Dula Peep in a little bit of a higher category than Doja Cat.
She's a little bit more mainstream.
Yeah, no, but also just like the quality of the album. Like, I think Future Nostalgia is one of the best pop albums ever.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. That was on repeat.
She's in the greats category now.
For a minute.
Just because of that album.
Such a good album.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, there's Doja.
That's just weird.
Super strange. We'll keep following
I think
this
she's
story.
just like a very weird personality. So like when you come at her, she's just kind of like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm out.
Yeah, she's a unique one.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
So some good news. Amanda Bynes is officially out of her 9-year conservatorship.
Did you know that she was under a conservatorship?
I did not know this.
Yeah, me neither.
Apparently, do you remember back in... Hold on, I'm going to get the year. I think it's 2018. Yes. She was arrested for DUI.
Yeah.
And then she went on this very weird time in there where she had gotten arrested, and then she was like saying all this weird stuff on her social media, tweeting really weird things, talking about being microchipped, and it was like very weird.
I remember people were saying that she was off the rails.
Yes, and then she came out with saying that she had been diagnosed bipolar, and then she went into rehab, and then after that she had come out and she had gotten like engaged and then called off the engagement. It was just like a weird stint of things. So within that
engagement, I remember that photo.
Within that, she was put into a conservatorship in 2019, and her mother was put in charge of the conservatorship just to take hold of her finances and all of her affairs.
2019?
Yeah.
So it was...
oh, wait, hold on. That's weird.
Yeah, because you said like a 7-year conservatorship or like a 9-year, and it started in 2019?
This is the second time she had been put under a conservatorship.
Oh.
Did I misread that? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. She was put in a conservatorship initially in 2013. And then her mother was put in charge of it. And then she was put back in charge of her finances after that. But then she went back into it in 2019.
I don't understand this conservatorship
Me either.
thing. Like, I just don't get it.
It's supposed to be to protect people from when they're technically out of it or unable to take care of themselves, for someone else to kind of have power of attorney and control over their finances, to be able to like pay the bills and make sure that they're not spending their money in a way that they shouldn't be. Or
But why is that a thing? Because like, is it just if you're rich?
Yeah, because if people don't have anything to protect, there's no protection needed. They'll leave you to just...
It just seems strange that like you wouldn't let a grown adult do what.
Well, it's usually put in to place when there's some sort of like mental thing going on or some sort of substance abuse.
Okay. I guess it kind of makes sense, but to me, it's like, why can't I ruin my life if I want to?
Right. And they say that they do, like with Britney and everything, they say that most people that are put under conservatorships are women. Like, they allow men to just go ruin their lives.
Yeah.
But with women, they're like, no, we need to step in and do something.
Yeah,
here.
we need to protect her from herself. Like, no, they're a grown adult.
Right.
The whole concept is just a little strange to me still.
It is very strange. I would think that it would be used more. It's supposed to be used on like old people. This isn't like a young people
it's
thing.
supposed to be for old people. It makes sense.
Or for somebody that's got like dementia.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them being put into a conservatorship because they're technically losing their faculties. So it's
so it's in their best interest, and they would probably want a conservatorship of somebody handling their affairs.
Right.
But like just like somebody who's on drugs and like struggling with that, I don't understand.
It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's out and she's got, you know, projects being thrown at her. Everybody wants to do a documentary. Everybody wants to put her in a movie. I think she should just lay low. I think she should take her time, do what Britney's doing, go pose nude on the beach.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing Britney's Instagram?
Not recently.
Girl!
Let us take a look.
Oh my god, she is just out there living her best life. And her...
Britney.
I can't spell.
Her highlights: upside down dance, yoga.
Wait, where's
Oh,
the
not the
picture?
red dress.
No, Selena.
Oh, I missed those. Okay, Britney, you
No,
better.
these are even the worst
You
ones.
bet-
No.
You want a hot buddy? Oh my gosh.
Where is it? You missed these?
She is completely naked.
No, completely.
Okay.
Completely. Like, I love this for her.
Live your life.
You know, she's on vacation. It's her man's birthday. They're nude on the beach. They are nude on the beach.
Live your life, Britney.
She's
happy.
She is happy. I just want her to get her hair and makeup and style together. Like, I really don't understand the clothes. I really don't understand the eyeliner. I really don't understand the hair extensions. Like,
She is doing whatever the hell she wants because she couldn't do that for so long.
yeah, but she doesn't look good while she's doing it, and that's my problem. I want her to look good.
Sometimes
She's so cute. Her body's amazing. She's beautiful.
looks great.
She looks great for her age.
Yeah.
Skin looks good. She hasn't had plastic surgery. We know that. She has no filler in her face, no nothing.
Mhm.
She looks like a real person. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Her face has not been altered by anybody in the last 10 years. Like,
Yeah, me too. Actually.
she could look amazing, and it's like...
She's living her best life. She doesn't give a damn. She is celebrating life.
Oh my god.
You know when you're
Yeah.
just celebrating life and you don't care and you're just like out.
But I want the outfits to be better.
The outfits aren't bad. Like, that yellow dress was cute. It's just like the glam. Like, she needs glam. That outfit's not cute. I spoke too soon.
The outfits are not good.
I don't know. I'm here for Britney. I think she's living her truth. That's my new favorite thing. Living your truth.
Oh, she was with Donatella. When was this? 2 hours ago. Love this for sis. Okay, so we might get her some new fits.
Hopefully Donatella gives her a wardrobe.
I mean, hopefully. I just feel like she needs like a very modern stylist to come in. Like, she needs Style Me Maeve to come in.
She needs Maeve, yes.
Or like Danny Michelle, or what's the girl that used to style Rihanna?
Mm-hmm.
The Filipino girl that I love so much. Whoever, or even Marnie. You know, Beyonce can let her go for a little bit. Like, give sis some people.
Yeah, I agree. But let's talk about Chris Cuomo.
Okay. Let's do it.
My fave. I was so sad when they fired him. CNN anchor Chris Cuomo,
I know.
brother of former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Chris Cuomo demands $125 million from CNN over alleged wrongful termination. Throws Don Lemon under the bus in lawsuit. Our other fave.
I know. We're a CNN family.
Yeah, a former CNN host, Chris Cuomo, is suing his former employer. The filing throws Chris's CNN bestie, I guess they were besties, Don Lemon, under the bus, stating, as long as CNN's ratings would not be hurt, Zucker and Gallus were more than willing to overlook major transgressions by CNN personalities such as Don Lemon and Jake Tapper, or even to engage in blatant misconduct themselves. Those are the bigwigs at CNN. The filing specifically called out Don Lemon's friendship with Jesse Smollett. So apparently there is a conspiracy, and Jussie Smollett.
Well, you don't know about that story? So
No.
apparently, when Jesse's whole thing came out, he hadn't had the interview with Gail yet, I don't think, or maybe it was after that. Don Lemon warned him and was like, they're starting to question your story.
Yeah, that's what he said, claiming that Don Lemon breached journalistic ethics by warning Jussie Smollett. The Chicago police didn't believe his allegations. No, but I just didn't realize there was more to the Jussie Smollett story. I thought he lied, he was in his own little bubble, but like, Don Lemon was a part of it?
He wasn't a part of it, but him and Jesse are supposedly friends. I don't know how or why, but he warned him. He was like, they're not believing you. Like, they're starting to question things. Like, I'm getting in the news cycle that the police are going to be reverse questioning you now. They're not really believing you. And Jesse was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So that does breach journalistic ethics. So Chris is throwing Don under the bus in this lawsuit.
Yes.
But it just makes me feel like now Jussie Smollett's story has like some conspiracy.
Why?
I don't know. Now just someone else is involved that I didn't know about.
I mean, that doesn't change anything. Like, his friend was just basically like, yo, this is what I'm hearing. Be warned.
I wanted there to be more to Jussie Smollett's story. I wanted to believe that he wasn't lying when he was screaming in the courtroom, I'm not suicidal, and that there was really somebody out to get him.
No, like, who?
I don't know.
Anyways. But yeah, Cuomo, I wonder what's gonna happen with this. They fired him for what exactly?
Sexual misconduct.
With the staff member?
Mm-hmm. Remember the article that I sent you?
That
op-ed that she wrote in the New York Times?
Yes.
That is what got him fired.
Damn. That was really unfortunate. Like, I believe she was credible, and she even admitted
there was multiple witnesses.
There was multiple witnesses. There was an email from him afterwards apologizing for the situation at the time. So she's credible, whatever. I just think it's really unfortunate, the whole situation. Like, it is, I just think it's unfortunate for him. I thought it was, say what you want to say, it's just still unfortunate because I liked him.
I liked him too. I mean, I don't know. It's just sad.
And this, I mean, if he wins this, wow. I wonder if they'll settle.
Probably.
Because if they fired him, they didn't have to pay him out.
I don't think
of his contract. So he's like, oh no, baby. Yeah. You go come up off that money. They'll probably settle it for an undisclosed amount silently.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if they'll want to put this in trial, especially if he's naming names and instances and
naming Jake Tapper and Don Lemon with Jussie Smollett. That is a garbage fire.
Yeah, and like who knows what else.
Mm-hmm. Bad PR.
Very bad PR for them. And I wonder what Fox News is saying about this.
You're probably not even talking about it.
Every so often, I go and watch Fox News because I just want to see what they're having to say about things. And sometimes I'm just like, these people are in their own world.
Yeah, they play Fox.
That left-wing media is much better sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I'm saying. But I just think news media is really in a precarious place.
They talk about such bullshit on Fox News, though. Like, they play it at my gym sometimes. I went the other day, and they were literally talking about Obama. I'm just like, what? What does he have to do with anything that's going on right now? There's a war, and you're talking about Obama?
That's weird.
CNN was talking about the war, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was just like, Fox News, like, where did this come from? Like, Obama is living his best unproblematic life, making playlists.
Right. And reading lists.
Yeah. Like, I'm so confused.
Yeah. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is apparently, allegedly, supposedly, to follow up on something we talked about a couple episodes ago, Yolanda Hadid, it has started to come out that the allegations that she made against Gigi's baby daddy, Zayn Malik, that he allegedly pushed her, is coming up false.
You know who called this?
Who?
Shallon Lester.
Really?
Shallon Lester from the beginning said Yolanda is a fake bitch. She's lying about her lupus. She's lying about Zayn, and it's gonna come out. It's lupus that she supposedly has, right?
No, she had Lyme disease.
Lyme. She's lying about her Lyme.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and so when I saw this article, immediately after that I saw a TikTok and somebody replayed Lisa Rinna being like, she has Munchausen syndrome, because supposedly that was what the word on the street was in LA when she was sick, and everybody was like, no, like, this bitch is faking and flogging.
But also, don't Bella and Anwar also have Lyme?
Yeah.
Okay, that's supposed to be a lie too.
That's wild.
And she has Munchausen, and she thinks that, like, her and her family are all sick when they're not. That's what Shallon said, because apparently, we talked about this on the podcast too, and I told you when you were really skeptical. Lyme is not common, okay? Like, in California, there was, like, a couple of thousand cases of Lyme in the year that they all supposedly caught it. And only a few hundred in LA County. So what are the odds that all 3 members of the family all caught Lyme in that same year? Like, what tick was that? The tick dies after it bites you. There's not that many infected ticks in LA County.
You have said this to me, and I was just like, I don't know.
It didn't make any sense.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Supposedly she's been lying about everything, and she's crazy.
Okay, first of all, I want to say I really loved Yolanda on the show. So
she's fab.
That's one thing. Number 2, she did some crazy shit to try to heal herself. She took all of the silver out of her mouth. She removed her breast implants. Like, she went to, like, Switzerland and was in, like, a chamber and all this weird shit.
That doesn't make it true.
No.
Adriana.
She had, like, cabinets of medicines and supplements and things. She had a full-time nurse in the house.
Gypsy Rose thought she was sick with cancer, but her mother was poisoning her. You could make a lot of things seem like they're one way.
So she's like Munchausen's and Munchausen's by proxy.
Supposedly, allegedly, that's what people are saying.
That's wild if that's the case. I don't know if I fully believe that.
I just think it's very unlikely that 3 members of the same family all have Lyme. Like, that's not genetic. You have to, like, go out and catch that.
Yeah, you do. I had a friend that had Lyme.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. But I feel like a lot of people lie about Lyme.
So deathly ill.
Oh, okay.
For a really long time.
Justin Bieber has Lyme.
He does?
Yeah, he has Lyme.
I remember reading an article once of this woman in New York that had Lyme, and she afterwards turned into a psycho. Like, she said that she, every single night before she gets into bed, she lint rolls her entire bed to make sure there's no, like, ticks in the sheets of her and all of her kids.
Oh my gosh.
Her and her 3 kids. She goes through and like makes sure there's nothing in the bed, because
has she ever found one?
I don't know, but like I just thought that fact alone was just so weird. I was like, what are the likelihood? But she lived in, like, upstate New York on some, like, farmland type thing, and she was just like, I have dogs, I have animals, like, it could happen.
That makes sense.
And she had it, and I was just like, the measures that she put into place for herself, I was like, that's no way to live, baby.
But everyone in LA, like, whenever something happens to them, like, they automatically think they have Lyme. Like, I was listening to a podcast the other day, Tana Mojo's podcast with her friend Brooke, and Tana thought she had Lyme after she got bit by a tick in Hawaii, and she like convinced herself that she had Lyme, and she got tested and she was like, oh yeah, I don't have Lyme. And then the friend, the same thing, like before she got tested for Lyme, she would be like, oh guys, it's the Lyme. Oh guys, I just know I have Lyme. And it's like nobody really has it.
That's really weird.
Right? I don't know.
I mean, the person that's too much information.
I believe your friend was really sick, but like after watching the podcast and then talk about it, like, oh yeah, like I would say I'm super tired, like I can't go out tonight, it's the Lyme. And then like a couple months later they found out that neither of them had Lyme.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just with your health, it could be so many things. Like it could literally be the boyfriend that's just like slowly killing you.
Oh,
like, it could be the bad boyfriend.
In
like,
Tana's case, she was like, I didn't have Lyme, I had low iron.
The bitch is anemic.
Yeah. Out here telling people she had Lyme.
Oh my god, that's wild. Okay, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the TV and Tea podcast. Go ahead and subscribe to us wherever you are listening. You know, all the places. Wherever you are listening to us, please leave us a review. Give us 5 stars. Tell us something nice.
Only if it's nice.
If you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to subscribe and to give this video a thumbs up. And we're very cute on YouTube these days, so tune in to see our faces live and direct. And we will be back next Saturday with another episode to serve up the tea on the latest TV and pop culture news. Bye, guys.
Bye.